PMG Radio. Respect your jaw.
Get into it, man. You know, Monique has caught the buzz, the wave of all things. Her mic was off that whole time. I really hope your mic was not off that whole time, yo.
No, she just turned it on.
All right. All right. You know what I mean? Monique had put out an Instagram video a few days back stating that we should boycott Netflix because of gender bias and racial prejudice. She goes on to state that she was offered a lowball figure of $500,000 for her services, which she deemed as disrespectful compared to what some of her predecessors in the same field were getting. She then goes on Sway in the Morning to expound on said claims, because you only get a minute on Instagram. Goes on Sway in the Morning to give the details, a lot of which made sense to me upon listening. But the backlash was definitely, everybody had, I feel like there were mixed opinions on this one. I don't feel like there was a solid, unison in thought when it came to this. So, we had PMG Radio going to give you our really, really real feelings about this. Now, is everybody here aware of who Monique is and her stature in the game as a comedian, as a female black comedian?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right? Let's start there. So you're not getting a ignorant perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, $500,000 may be a lot to a lot of people out here, including everybody sitting here.
Yep.
I would get up there and hum melodies for $500,000. But when you compare what they gave the Chris Rocks and the Chris Tuckers and the Dave Chappelles and the Netflix, we're saying, what they gave comedians in the game, $500,000 is kind of low. I think Dave Chappelle got, 16 mil for 3 specials, I believe.
No, I think Dave got more than that.
He got more than 16
I think he
mil?
got like 20 for
20
like
mil
each
for
one.
3 specials?
No, each.
Yeah, you're right. It was. I said 16. It was 60.
Yeah.
60 mil for 3 specials. Chris Tucker, I think, got around 16.
Yeah.
What do you think, Eliza? Was this gender biased and was this racially biased?
Stand up for your fellow black woman, Eliza.
Yo, let me rock. Just give me my space to gather my thoughts. Okay. Do I think Netflix is racist? I can't flat out say, I think Netflix made a decision necessarily solely based on race, because they just signed an amazing deal with Shonda Rhimes, who is the writer and producer for the show Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. That's one of my favorite. So definitely not going to be boycotting. Definitely not going to be boycotting.
Well, first of all, you ain't boycotting because of Black Mirror. You just told us. Like, you all into it right now. You ain't boycotting because of that. Right.
No, but, okay. I'm not going to be boycotting, and it's really, really hard for me to just say that. First of all, I know there's gender bias, and I know that there is sexual prejudice as well, just in the world, period, in the country, period. So whenever you have that, just period, it's going to reflect in every single thing that you do. It's going to be reflected in music. It's going to reflect in Hollywood. It's just going to reflect, period, because it exists, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
With that being said, I don't necessarily think that it's fair to ask other people to boycott something based on your wallet, because it's not really affecting our wallets. And not just that, but to the people who you're asking, that's how much they're going to make over the next 10 years, potentially, as well. So you have to, when you're asking people to boycott, and then you're saying 500,000, as you said, it depends on who you're talking to. That's very, very sensitive, because to some people that's a lot of money. So now you got to talk about the principle, right?
Well,
so now you have to talk about the principle.
No. I'm gonna stop you there. You got to talk about fair market value.
Okay, so all right, so
right?
let's talk. Okay, so let's not talk about the principle. Let's talk about fair market value.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, from what I understand, Netflix are basically...
I'll take anything for the principle.
What I understand is Netflix, as far as they're concerned, they're basically saying, this is how much we think you are worth.
Yeah,
this is how much we think we're going to make back off of you, or this is how much we're going to make. So if that's what they're saying...
Which is their right.
I'm leaving it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. Because I know that they have paid people more.
Significantly.
Significantly more. And at the end of the day, it is a business, not taking away the fact that I do believe that women and black people in general are underappreciated. I can definitely respect that. And I agree with that. In this case, it's very, very tricky for me because Monique, who I freaking love, I grew up watching the Parkers on freaking, what did we have? Nickelodeon in London. Always loved her. Great, big fan of her. If we're talking about value, we're talking about what you've done recently that would warrant you being worth a certain amount of money, right? No, let me finish. We're talking about value, right? So we're talking about if I'm going to do a concert with a certain artist, I may book out a certain venue because I know that this artist will bring me back this much money.
Absolutely.
And will fill out this venue, so therefore this is how much we're going to pay because this is how much we feel like we're going to get back. And then if I'm booking Beyonce, I'm going to say, well, this is Beyonce, so we're going to spend this much, and that's because she's going to sell out this much, and that's because we're going to sell out that. And that's kind of where I'm just going to leave it. I know that what I'm saying kind of seems unclear. I'm going back and forth between so many thoughts.
I get you.
But I do have to take into account value as well. Like, as far as
you don't think Monique is hot right now. I feel like that's some of what you're saying.
What I'm saying is the last movie that she put out was over a year ago.
You don't feel like Monique is hot right now. That's what I'm saying, even from a business standpoint, for you yourself personally, if you own Netflix, right, and you had the option to book this person versus that person, you know that you're doing it based on how much money you think you're going to get back. Absolutely.
And it's unfortunate that there's other stuff that gets mixed up, like, you know, being a woman and being black. I'm a woman and I'm black, so this could hit me twice as hard as it could hit you guys. I'm still kind of seeing it from a business standpoint a little bit. Basically, she's saying that she is worth more than what they are offering because she's a legend. And I understand 500,000 to somebody like Monique is not a lot of money. And I definitely get that. However, is she saying that she can sell out, that she can bring in $1 million, $2 million, $3 million worth of revenue? Is that what the issue is? Does she feel like she can bring in more money than what they believe? Yeah, and that's where the disconnect is. Because to me, how does she know that she can? Because, you know, I'm asking this because I was, you know, listening to different people's comments, and even Tony Rock kind of had made a comment like, you know, we haven't really seen you do stand-up comedy for a while, or we haven't seen you do X, Y, and Z for a while. So even though you're a legend, your value at this particular moment, you know, is X, Y, and Z. Like, you know, if somebody like, I don't know, let's think about a legendary artist.
Rap artist?
It could be anybody, a legendary artist that may not necessarily sell out medicine.
That's not hot right now. Mariah Carey.
That may not necessarily sell out Madison Square Garden
Mariah
now.
Carey.
So is it the
Mariah
fault?
Carey would be hit or miss right
so
now.
if you didn't want to book that person, is it the fault of the business, or is it the fault of the person who should increase their value in order to? But do you see what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's definitely, you're saying it's definitely a delicate balance of like, what do you feel is value at the moment, and what do you feel that person gonna bring in?
That's definitely one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay? Are we looking at a case of racially biasedness on the behalf of the good folks at Netflix?
See, I don't feel like I'm...
Before you say it, let them know your Netflix signing so they can take your shit down after your opinion. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like, I didn't see her interview with Sway. I think, did she do the Breakfast Club too, or she just did Sway?
No, just Sway so far.
I heard, like, my boy was filling me in on what she was saying. Like, I guess she was touching on, like, the Lee Daniels and all that other shit.
She was just giving us the specifics. Basically, she was just expounding on her IG post. She was just giving was giving the specifics.
But her, she said something like she only got paid like $50K for the $50,000 for the Precious shit.
Which, and let's be clear, that's fair. It was an independent film with no backing.
Oh, it was independent?
Yes, it was completely independent.
That she
Precious
agreed
didn't
to.
get picked up.
She agreed to.
But Precious did not get picked up till later on. After it did Sundance and all of that shit, then it got picked up.
Right.
So that $50K is very fair for an independent
I wonder if she
film.
just...
Some people get less than that. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I mean, I'm probably going to piggyback off of what Eliza said. It's just like, she's definitely decorated. She's accomplished. Like, she's done a lot, right? So then it's the other side of it is like, okay, you know how it is. What have you done lately? Like, what's your current profile?
Right.
Like, I'm sure Netflix knows all about her accomplishments.
Let's be real. Not to cut you off, my brother. We hadn't seen a Dave Chappelle stand-up routine in years before he got his deal.
Yeah. No, but you knew.
No.
Like,
The demand is different in the
Yeah.
sense that
the
No,
demand.
he had did some. Let me be fair. I want to
Yeah.
be accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had did some comedy shows, but he hadn't done a special
Right.
in years.
Right.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So, like I don't even remember the last Monique special. Honestly, stand up. I don't know, like how long it was ago.
It was a minute. I believe it was on Showtime. But
Like everything we've heard from her, like in recent memory, wasn't even really comedy related. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it was always kind of just her saying these things like about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Netflix is looking at it like, yo, your current profile is like, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it's return on investment. Like what are we gonna get? Like how much money are you gonna bring in?
yeah.
For you doing this special,
Right,
like now, if she's as confident as she is in her credentials, yeah, I think
Right.
Amy Schumer got like 12.
I
or
just want
something
to know
like
what
that.
she got because she was comparing what she was offered to what
I think she got like
she
12
initially
million.
got offered 11 million,
And she went up.
but then she had an
Amy
issue
Schumer?
because she
Yeah,
originally,
she wanted
originally
to
got
get
offered
13.
11 million.
Now,
But then she had an issue because was it Dave Chappelle
Dave
and Chris
Chappelle
Rock
and
was offered more, so they upped hers by a few more million.
now is it fair, regardless of profile, regardless of what have you done in the game lately, and all of those things, because Monique is still Monique, and I think what happens is a lot of times artists will ride off of their name, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
You know, artists will be like, I know I haven't done X, Y, and Z in a while, but I'm still Chris Rock.
Right.
And when I get up there, I'm going to get crazy. So in comparison to what an Amy Schumer would get, is it fair for her to base her worth off of that or no?
Not necessarily, just because of the fact that Amy Schumer had like a hit movie this summer and she sold out Madison Square Garden like recently. So they're looking at that from a business standpoint. They're looking at the current numbers. Like, right now, like 2 months ago, you did these numbers. So we know.
Right.
Yeah,
That people still want to come see
statistically,
it.
people are gonna come and see
They're
you.
not paying for your lifetime achievements. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right,
And it's unfortunate because I mean, if you Amy Schumer and Monique, you put them side by side. You know what I'm saying? Like accomplishment for accomplishment.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
She has a case, but just,
And even when she says she is, a lot of people confuse when she says she's the most decorated comedian of all time. Not female, but comedian.
yeah.
She has a valid case. She's the only one with an Oscar.
Oh yeah, that's what I knew. That's what she was going.
That's
at when
why she
said
said
it.
that.
Yeah, I
She's
knew
the
that's why
only
she said
one
it.
with a Chris Rock don't got an Oscar.
Yeah, I knew that's why
Dave
she said
Chappelle
that.
don't have an Oscar. A lot of these comedians.
And then we go.
I know. I already know what you're gonna. But I'm just saying she has a valid case to say that.
Right. That's why she said that.
No,
yeah,
I mean, at the
definitely.
end of the day, we all know our worth.
Right.
Everybody feels like they're worth whatever they're worth. So, for me, for instance, if I get a job offer that I'm not happy with, unfortunately, I can't reach out to people and be like, boycott this company or boycott this company.
Right.
I just have to be like, you know what? On to the next. And I'm in no way saying that's necessarily what she should do. It's just one of those things. It's so sensitive because you want to support. Like I love her and I've loved growing up watching her. So I want to support. So if I cancel my Netflix now, well, I mean I have Apple, iTunes too. But what are you telling me to do? Is what I'm saying. Are you telling me to cancel my Netflix and go and pay $200 a month for cable, which I already do anyway? But like what? To me, it's just tough. It's just tough to tell people to do something so that you get more money, so you guys spend your money somewhere else, so that my money can be good. Like it's a very, it's very tricky, especially because there's a lot of factors involved. It's
the whole premise of her advocating the boycott is wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's self-serving.
Right.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
what I'm
Like-
trying to say without.
So it's like, I mean, if you're gonna do a call to arms for black people to support you to boycott because you didn't feel like you got what you was worth. So like we should come to you with some demands. Like we should be like, all right, so
when-
you want us to do this. So what do we get out of this? This is what we want.
So when we boycott it and then you get 3 million, here's my bank details.
Yeah, where's
You
that?
see what I'm trying to say? Like,
At least want 300.
Yeah, just give me something. Like,
Send me 300 for my.
and I'm gonna go
loyalty,
get
yo.
Netflix
Yeah.
back.
All right. Is it racially biased? No, definitely not racially biased because they paid black comedians. They paid Chris Tucker.
Clearly. Like, yeah, that's the whole.
And Chris Tucker ain't been on stage in forever, and they
Tucker
gave this
sucks.
nigga money. So They're clearly not racist. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it's a racial.
No, I don't
thing,
think
right?
it. And I think she was kind of stretching it when she said for racial bias. It's not. I don't feel like it's a racial issue at Netflix. They've been giving. They just gave Cat Williams a shitload of money. Then they gave him about $3 million. You understand?
You know what it is? I kind of feel like it's one of those things where it's like she's saying it's Netflix, but I feel like in general over the last few years, she's just been feeling that way in Hollywood, period.
Yeah.
So this was kind of like, you know what I mean? Like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, but hold on, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there because I don't want people to feel like, we always get the thing when somebody is speaking out on what's really going on, we call them crazy. And I don't believe Monique is
she's
crazy. I
definitely
believe
not.
she's
Not at
really
all.
going through these things.
She is, yeah.
So
No one's calling
we're
her
gonna
crazy.
get there in a minute, but racial biasness though, I feel like it was gender bias.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh, snap. Wait. Okay. Sorry, Marilyn. So she goes, I don't think it's gender or racial bias. Monique is not relevant to the people who have Netflix accounts. I want to see if she feels the same if they offered Tiffany Haddish more than her since she's popping right now. I personally don't want to see Monique or Wanda Sykes. Dave Chappelle was in his prime, funny when he appeared. Dave Chappelle was in his prime, funny when he did appear. We want more from him. Amy Schumer is popular right now as well. Yeah, I'm so sorry that I misread that a little bit. It's the click vodka, but I'm 100%. I mean, that's basic. She said exactly what I'm trying to say. That's beautiful.
She actually mentioned something I was going to bring, the Tiffany Haddish shit.
Right.
You know they're going to offer her money. Because she's popping right now.
Monique's point was that if she took such a low offer, then the Tiffany Haddish is out there.
It's going to set a precedent.
It would set a bad precedent
Yeah.
Well,
for them to get significantly less.
Well, this is the thing. In one way, okay, you could say that if we agree that it's based on, you know what I mean, gender, and if it's based on, if it's based on that, then yes. If it's not based on that, then no, because they are paying people more. They're not paying you more.
Right.
They're paying you what they think you're worth.
I bet you they're going to offer Tiffany like 2.5 or 3. I guarantee you.
And you know what? Listening to her Sway interview, I felt like she took it as a personal slight. And that's why she came out so overt the way she did.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
that's
a lot of me did not feel like it was coming from the standpoint of, standing up for black women across the globe. No, you standing up for you right now. This is like she said, this was like Jay said, my fault. This is a self-serving kind of thing right now. Because we don't know what Tiffany Haddish is going to get.
I don't even think it did her any good coming public with it. Like, that's like, y'all, like, how many negotiations did y'all have? Did you just get the number and got pissed and walked out?
The IG post came out so abruptly.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, that's
I think she had got the call like 5 minutes before the IG post.
Yeah, because she looked pissed still. I was like, yo, I mean, like.
And Monique is my sister. Strong black woman, don't get it twisted. We're just being neutral with the facts here at PMG Radio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Monique. I listened to her wholeheartedly when she was going through the things she was going through with Lee Daniels, with Oprah, with Tyler Perry. I listened to all of it. And I believed her. Like, I believe like these are the things that happen. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've heard from quite a few people that Lee Daniels is a scumbag. You understand what I'm saying? So, I believed her. But this case here, I think she jumped out the window a little bit.
Yeah, she jumped the gun.
I mean, I wish that I can't say I wish that she had done it for 500 grand. I mean, if she really feels like she's worth more than that, because she couldn't. I feel like I don't want to say she could have.
She's worth more than that, to be clear. Me personally.
Wait.
What do you think? You think she's worth more?
Of course she is. Okay. Of course she is. I wish that there was a platform or there was a way that she could have. I mean, not a platform. I wish that she could have maybe negotiated it differently with them. Maybe I'm sure there was some.
She said negotiations were finished. She said she had got to find an email that said we are far apart on the terms, so we wish you the best, but we're going to move forward.
Okay. Well.
So the negotiations hadn't been done at that point. And when you're talking 20 million and they're talking 500K, yes, you are way apart. There's really no negotiating at that point. You can't even meet at the middle. Like.
Did she say
I wish she said what she thought she was like. What she
would say what her ask was?
I would wonder too what her number, but I think she wanted her numbers to be comparable to Amy Schumer's. That's what she said. She said she would have liked her numbers to be comparable to that. Like, don't value Amy Schumer at this and value me at this.
See, now when you add that dynamic, her and Amy Schumer, then we can start talking about race, maybe, because you got a white woman, black woman. Amy Schumer's profile is so high right now.
Right now.
That's
Right.
what
And
counts.
that's what it's about. So it's hard to make that correlation.
That's what I mean. It's not what that's what
counts. As soon as you start saying race, people are like, "Nah, I can't be." You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that's so easy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so far from the race card on this one.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not even validating that. I don't think this has anything to do with race.
So
because the men. You know what I mean?
But then
they
that's
got
gender.
millions.
They gave Dave
right,
Chappelle
so
a
that's
check
my
just
whole thing.
because.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's my whole thing. So then you can't. What
cloudy.
is it then? Is it one or the other? Is it both? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and
So
it doesn't
you
have to be
can't-
one or the other. It could be a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is not black and white. Something is grays.
No,
like,
that's true.
So I don't know. Like I'm just saying. Like in
That's
her
true.
mind, she see Amy Schumer. She see a white chick.
Yeah.
So she's automatically gonna go there.
Yeah,
Like,
but
just-
again, she has stated that she feels like she's been blackballed, or that I guess that Lee guy had told her that she had been blackballed. So with that being said, that's why to me this just makes it even that much more of an issue, or that blows it up for her.
I agree.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
It's like a culmination of all the shit she's been
yeah,
going through.
of all of this stuff, which was probably what led her to be like, F it. I'm making my Instagram. You know what I mean?
Take everybody with me, all the black people with me. Take it up.
No, you know what, man? You know, I think she needs to carefully pick her battles. And truthfully, like, you know, Netflix is just one of many. You know, you still got the Hulus, you still got Amazon Prime, right. You still got other outlets to where you could get your shit off at. So I don't think you should go this hard at one outlet just because they didn't meet your demands or they didn't meet what you felt you were worth. For me, it just takes me back to something I've been saying for a while now. Why can't we just respectfully disagree nowadays? Like, why does it always have to turn into something bigger than just a disagreement? Like, it is what it is. Like, we just didn't disagree. We just didn't agree on the terms. That's fine. Like, we could both move forward from that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I took, like, even listening to the interview, I just took it like, okay, you're here, they're there, you just disagreed on whatever, and let's just keep it pushing.
Yeah,
like,
no, but that's if you just feel like it's a disagreement. But if you feel like it's racial prejudice in a time like right now where race is such, I mean, that's all we talk about for the most part. That's not all we talk about, but we talk about it so much that now if anything happens to you and you feel the slight sense that this may be due to your race,
well, you got to
be
now
opportunistic about it.
A little bit, because you have to have a little bit of logic in you to say, well, if they have all of these black comedians already on their network, then obviously it isn't racist.
Right.
that's what. Because the thing is, Amy. Because we already discussed and okay, so black, and then we got the sexism as well. Amy, she originally was like, oh hell no, when they originally offered her what they offered her.
Right,
but that was
you're looking at others' numbers. You're looking at what they're giving other people. Like, okay, well, don't give me.
Right.
Like I said,
so Netflix, but the
Right.
difference was that Netflix, you know what I mean, saw what she complained about, or her management or whoever complained about, and they went back and were like, oh, actually, yeah, you are worth this because blah, 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 blah. So maybe if we don't give this to you, another network will probably pay you.
Well, no, the offer was outrageous. Let's be clear.
Oh, yeah.
For who?
For Monique, the
No, I'm talking about,
$500,000 offer was outrageous.
No, but I was talking about Amy. Okay, that's
But
the
Amy,
click.
the
I was
thing
talking
with her
about Amy.
too is like she's in the mix. Like Chris Rock and Chappelle actually co-sign her. Like they endorse her.
Right.
Like, they fuck with Amy Schumer, so I'm sure that helps.
Yeah.
Like, that goes a long way too. You know what I'm saying? So she kind of got all the bases covered.
I
Unfortunately,
feel so bad. I wish it didn't have to get to this point for Monique, because
I feel like if she'd have just like, and it's fucked up. I feel like if she'd have just did what everybody else does in Hollywood and just play ball and go along with all this probably fuck shit that goes on. She probably
dog,
but I don't want. I'm glad she didn't. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fine line right there, man.
it's a fine line, but it's a fine line. It's just one of those things where, like, again, if I book, but no, let's talk about this. If I'm gonna, you do events, Peso,
right?
You do events, so you know that there's a difference between one person coming versus another person coming. You know what you may be willing to give one person is not going to be the same that you want to give another person, right. And you look at so many variables and so many factors.
Because ain't nobody out here just trying to lose money,
right?
So that's a fact. But I want to touch on, because what you said just hit me just now, yo. Because I know I would be way more further ahead if I bent over. Like I've been in places where I've got those bend over offers, and I know for a fact.
Y'all have, brother.
But I have pride, yo. I have a deep sense of pride that you can call it what you want. Mm-hmm. You can say, where your pride holds you back. Peso, You're not willing, like you said, you're not willing just to play ball. You're not willing to give into the fuck shit, to the sucker shit. But it is what it is. And I'm content with knowing that if me standing on my square keeps me where I'm at, I'm totally fine with that. I will go to my grave smiling with that. Seriously. Yeah. So, that's real, though.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
is real. Like, they put you out there, and they put you in positions to where it's like, yo, you either bend over and put the Vaseline on your asshole, or you stand on your square. Those are the two options you got.
Yes. And everybody's not Chappelle. Like, 'cause Chappelle, people thought Chappelle was bugging out, and Chappelle was saying,
but look how long he had to stand on his square.
He said
to
it
get
too.
there.
Like, I don't know if y'all saw his last stand-up special, but he gave the whole breakdown of like the shit he was going through. Like, he was like, yo, I'm not trying to be a fucking hero. I need to be rich. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was saying that shit. Like, but he was like, yo, he did not know he was going to be okay. He's like, that shit is scary as fuck.
Or even more crazy, he didn't even know he didn't own his name at one point. He didn't even know that.
Shit's crazy, man.
He didn't know he owned his name, Dave Chappelle. That is bogged the fuck out, yo. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he had to stand on his square for over 10 years.
Yeah. Just for that shit to come through.
In order for shit to happen, yo.
That usually doesn't happen that way.
So, and he came out lucky at the end of it.
He came out lucky.
Because that don't happen all the time. Some people stand on their square for so long, they die on it.
He left such a deep impression, like with Chappelle's show and everything else, that he still had that aura about him. Like,
that's what happened with Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor just didn't want to get off his square. And that's just what it was.
Yep.
You feel me? So it really happens. And, when I hear Monique, I hear that conviction of her just standing on her square.
That's
saying,
why
I'm not going to bend over to you, Oprah. I'm not going to bend over to you, Tyler Perry. I'm not going to bend over to you. I'm just not.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is the thing. Nobody has an issue with somebody feeling like they're being lowballed. At most points in our life, I mean, most of us at some point in our life may have felt that way. That's not what the issue is at all. So when you are given an offer that you don't feel is justified or you don't feel is right, you refuse it. And she definitely could have made it known that she felt a way about it. Right. It was just a request for us to boycott. I think that's what kind of pushed us to our system.
I think she lost a lot of people.
I really wish. I wish it could have been done a little bit differently. If you tell me the situation and I choose to boycott, fair enough. Yeah. But you asking us to boycott, I think that's what kind of made it like. So now if you ask us to boycott, you better give me a really good fucking reason why.
Right.
So now if you're going to give me a reason that's questionable, that has variables, then it's difficult because now we can't just make up our mind. Now there's so many discussions to be had.
Yeah, like Jay said, it came off very self-centered. Like, it did. I took it like that too. Because if you would have got the money, you'd have been okay.
Yeah, I was looking at my phone and I was like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Yeah, like if you would have got the bread, you'd have been okay. So you only do, like I said, once you only doing this because things didn't go your way, then yes, that's a self-centered thing. Because you're not doing it just because this is right. This is the right thing to do. You're doing it because it fucked with you.
Right. They didn't give us our $500,000.
Yeah,
or $1 million or whatever we thought we were worth.
So you know.
So that's the part of it because it's like you making your money isn't benefiting any of us. Let's be real.
That's
about
a fact.
This. Let's be real. So I can feel for you and I can feel, but it's like now you're asking me to affect my money. So now you're basically saying I should go from paying however much I pay for Netflix to paying $200 for a cable box. So now I'm giving. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So that's why I'm just like that's a bit insensitive. Like I don't feel like you should ever. I mean, like put that kind of pressure on us.
Like, did she have like a publicist or something? Like,
well, her husband is her manager.
Oh fuck! No, I was like, yo, somebody should not have allowed that. I'm like, yo, get
listen, man,
you got their phone. Like,
they in an open relationship, so you know they be on some kinky shit.
Oh, yeah, true that.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's some whole other shit right there. But you know, I do want to say, you know, Monique is my sister. You know, I ride with you, but this one here, I gotta be honest. I don't think it was fully. It wasn't fully in, you know, a serving thing for you to do. I think it was just something that hit you and affected you in the nature of the way you came out the way you did. And I think it's kind of unfair for you to tell people to take away something they may love just because you didn't get a paycheck.
Yeah. I think we agree
that's the way
on
I
that.
look at it.
Yeah, I think we agree.
I mean, I wish you the best, man. I hope something comes up and